Hi, it's Rachel, and I'm going to post another little practice session for those of us who are hanging out at home, self-isolating these days. Right now, this is going to be, I'm aiming for under half an hour of floor work, and it's going to be entirely lying down and maybe like two seated poses at the end, so very different from the other video. If you like to use a belt, you might want to have a belt handy. You're welcome to not use a belt. And if you want to, when you're lying down, you like to have something behind your head, like a folded blanket or a pillow, you might want to have that handy too. Okay, let's get started. Do some practice. I'm going to start on our backs. And this is one of my favorite ways to start my practice, because I get the sensory feedback from the floor about what my back's doing. So I have my feet on the floor, my pelvis on the floor, my shoulders on the floor. The back of my head could be on a folded blanket or a pillow or on the floor. My eyes could be gently open or softly closed. And I'm going to notice my breathing. And I'm breathing very deeply through my nose, and I'm trying to make sure my exhalation is at least as long and maybe even a little bit longer than my inhalation. I'm just noticing how my body's feeling right now. Any injuries or fatigue I might have in my body. Any openings, any strength I'm feeling physically. I'm noticing any noises. I might hear my dogs drinking water if you're hearing that on the video. Just noticing. What am I experiencing through my senses right now? Good. And then gently bringing your right knee in towards your right chest. And then when it feels comfortable and appropriate, stretch your right leg up overhead. Now, if you like to use a belt in your practice, you are welcome to put a belt around your right foot. If you prefer to use your hands on the leg to support the leg, you're welcome to. Some people like just holding their leg up with no support from the arms. That's fine with me as long as it's not putting strain on your back. If your low back is vulnerable, you might want to give yourself a little more support. And we're going to push up strongly through that right heel, like you're holding the ceiling up. And as you push up with that leg, let your shoulders soften down away from your ears. Your jaw and neck get really soft. Good. So a lot of us tend to really use our arms a lot to stretch the legs. Your legs are plenty strong. Good. And now we're going to keep the back of our right hip on the floor and move the right leg just a few inches across our body to the left. And again, you are welcome to do this with the belt, with your hands, or with no hands. And then we're going to bring that right leg back to center. Going to take one more position here. This time we're going to open the right leg out to the side. And you'll notice I'm slightly externally rotating my right leg. I'm opening it out to the side. Again, I could use a belt. Now right here, I'm keeping my left pelvis and the back of my left shoulder blade and even the back of my left ribs on the floor. I'm staying very grounded there and only letting my right leg come as far out to the side as feels comfortable and appropriate. I could support this leg with my hand or be using a belt around my foot here. Keep breathing, and then we'll bring that leg back up to center. And put the foot on the floor and just take a breath. Oof. Notice how you're feeling. Okay, then we're going to bring our left knee in towards our chest. And hugging that left knee in, stretch that left leg up towards the ceiling. And again, you could feel free to wrap a belt around your foot here. You could feel free to use your hands on the back of the leg here. Or you could feel free to have your arms loose. But if you're taking that third option, be real mindful of your back, really careful of your lower back. Strengthen up through that left heel. Really activate that leg. Push up through the heel. And as you exert that energy through the leg, let your jaw, your neck, your shoulders relax. They don't have to work so hard, right? Your leg's doing the work. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And then we're going to move the left leg a few inches to the right, keeping the back of that left hip on the floor. For me, this moves the stretch to the outside of my thigh a little bit to the part of the body called the iliotibial band. So if you're noticing a shift in the stretch, that's totally fine. Everybody's different. Good, and we'll bring that left leg back up to center. And now again, we're going to be mindful of keeping my right shoulder, my right pelvis, and my right ribs down as I open my left leg out to the side. I could be using a belt here. I'm choosing the option of holding the leg with my hands. Some people like doing it hands-free. Make sure you're protecting your lower back. Keep energizing that left leg. Only let yourself open out as much as you can while keeping that right side neutral. Good job. Bring that left leg back up to center. And put that foot back down. Okay. Nice work. The next sequence we're going to go through, I want us all to be really mindful of our lower back and taking care of our lower back. During one part of this, we're going to be lowering a leg towards the floor. Lower your leg only as far as you can with no pain in the lower back. So that might mean you're only lowering it a little bit. It might mean you're lowering it all the way to the floor. Doesn't matter to me. I call this next sequence bicycle legs. We're going to work with the breath. As you exhale, you're going to bring the right knee in towards the chest. Inhale and stretch up through the right leg and slowly lower any amount towards the ground. Exhale the knee back into the chest. Inhale, lengthening up and lowering down. And as you'll see, I'm really trying to keep my leg moving straight. For me, it's really tempting to get my leg closer into my chest to turn my right leg out. I'm trying to stay very neutral here so that I'm just working through the flexion and extension of the leg. I'm also really feeling that my abs are working with me here. It's not my lower back. Remember, you don't have to lower your leg super low. You might want to have your knee bent. Do a modified version of this. Right? You don't have to go all the way down. Okay, and let's bring our right foot back down to the floor. Whew. Going to do the same thing on the left. Again, working really hard to keep the knee coming straight in. I always want to move it out to the side to get it in a little closer, but I'm only flexing as much as I can in a neutral position. Then I'm going to stretch up with my leg, and I'm trying to keep my leg in the same plane as I lower it down. Exhale the leg in. Inhale it, stretching it up and down. Exhale it in. Inhaling as it comes down. Exhaling, it comes in. Inhaling, it comes down. And keep moving with this rhythm. Keep your shoulders and your neck soft. At any point, you can say, hey, I think I would like something under my head, right? We're just going to do 1 or 2 more of these on the left side. Good. And bring your left foot down to the floor. Take a moment here to check in with yourself. Notice how you're feeling. I'm going to have a sip of water. You might want a sip of water. I'm going to check and see what we're doing next. Okay, good. So coming back onto our back with our knees bent and our feet on the floor, go ahead and cross your right ankle over your left knee. Can I move out of frame? Yeah. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. Flexing your right foot. Let's go ahead and lift the left foot off the floor. If that's too much, put the left foot back down. You could always put your left foot on a block. If this felt okay, bring your right arm in between the thighs. Catch the back of that left thigh and breathe here. You'll notice I'm kind of shifting around. I'm making my shoulders a little more even. Trying not to overly lift my right hip here. And I'm going to take a few breaths, feeling that stretch in my hip, buttock area. Good. Now I'm going to take my left hand on my right foot and my right hand on my right knee. Holding my right leg in place, I'm lowering my left leg down. And then I'm going to move my right leg back and forth across my body. Oof. And just noticing what my leg likes to do, how this feels. Good. Hey, Nellie. That's my dog. Now I'm taking my right hand to my right foot and I'm opening the sole of my right foot up towards the ceiling. If you're saying, no way on earth is that happening, this might be a time to switch to using a belt. Or you could hold the half happy baby with your right hand on the calf or on the back of the thigh. You don't have to grab the foot. There's nothing there but foot. Good. And let's lower that foot down. Okay. Second side. Let's cross that left ankle over the right knee. If it's comfortable, remember you can keep your right foot on the floor. If it's comfortable, lift the right foot off the floor, bring the left arm between the thighs, and hug those legs into the chest any amount. Noticing how you're feeling here, taking a few breaths. Is that left hip down away from your left shoulder? Are you relaxing your jaw? Now I'm going to bring my right hand to my left foot and my left hand to my left knee. I'm going to hold my left leg where it is and bring my right foot down. Then I'm going to begin to move that left leg back and forth. I'm noticing that my left leg feels way different than my right leg did. That is very normal, so don't worry about it if your hips feel different. We bear our weight differently on our body as we move through our lives, so that is normal. Good, I'm just moving that leg back and forth, noticing what that feels like. Come back to center, and now I'm gonna transition to half happy baby pose, opening that left knee towards the left armpit, holding the left foot or calf or back thigh with the hand. Good, taking a couple of deep, full breaths here. Good, and then we'll just put that foot down. Lying on your back for a moment, take another couple of breaths. Okay, we're gonna do some abs next. If you don't feel like doing abs, don't do abs. Remember, you are at home, no one can see you but your dog, and they won't tell. So the abs I'm choosing to do today, I'm lifting my knees up to be above my hips, and I have my hands interlaced behind the back of my head. I'm going to start by using my upper abs to lift my breastbone up towards the sky, and I'm supporting the back of my head with my hands so my neck doesn't feel this. Now, starting from this position, I'm going to begin to move into some cross-body abs working with my breath. So I'm going to exhale, turn my elbows towards my left knee, draw my left knee in towards my body, stretch my right leg out. Then I'm going to inhale back to center, and then I'm going to exhale in the opposite direction and inhale back to center. And do this nice and slow, following your own breath. Exhale and twist, inhale back to center. Don't rush. I see people do this so quickly, and that just looks really dangerous for the neck. And it actually builds more strength to move more slowly and with more control. So we're just going to do a few more of these, nice and slow. Remember, the whole point of this is we're at home and self-isolating. Nobody sees if you take a break. So take all the breaks you want. Good, just one or two more. Feeling your belly make the movement. You're drawing in with the belly to make this happen. Okay, and come on down to your back. Feet on the floor. Ah, that felt good. Okay. And then we're going to have our arms on the floor. And again, listen to your back here. Your back might not like doing back bends, but if this feels comfortable, keeping your thighs hip-width apart, we're just going to inhale and lift the buttocks off the floor. Exhale and roll back down. And do this a few times if it feels good. And again, I'm keeping my thighs really parallel. Some people like to practice this with a block between their thighs for their lower back. If that feels good for you, do it. Remember, it's your practice. Good. And just one more time. Inhaling up, exhaling down, beautiful. And roll to one side. We're going to get crazy and come on up to sitting. Okay. So stretching out your right leg to the right side and bending your left knee so that your left foot is in towards that right thigh. I know not everyone likes bending that knee, so if you want to have both legs stretched out, that's fine with me. From here, I'm going to lengthen up through my spine, drop my shoulders down, and just take a deep breath. Okay, now I'm going to hinge over this left leg. I'm coming slightly forward onto the inside of that thigh, stretching that right arm out to the side. This left arm could do a number of different things. A lot of us like having that arm stretching overhead. Some people like wrapping the arm behind the back. If you have a shoulder vulnerability, I'd recommend maybe having the hand on the hip. And listen to your neck. If your head wants to drop, let your head drop. If your head wants to lengthen, let your head lengthen. And take another breath. Oh, good job. And let's come on up. And we'll take it on the second side. Opening your left leg out to the left side, bend that right leg. And again, same thing applies. If your right knee doesn't like being bent, stretch your right leg out to the side. That's totally appropriate. And I've got my left toes, you'll see, up towards the sky. My foot's flexed, knees, shins, toes, and thighs all in the same direction. And then I'm lengthening out along the inside of that left leg with the left arm, staying long through this whole underside of my body. And then I could take the right arm up overhead if I wanted. I could take it behind my back. If I'm shoulder injured, I keep that hand on the hip. And breathing. And come on up. And come to any comfortable seated position. You could sit with your ankles crossed, your legs crossed, kneeling, legs outstretched, whatever you like. Whatever position you're in, lift up with your breastbone and open your collarbones away from each other. And just drop your chin to your chest, like you're trying to see something on the front of your shirt. And let the back and the neck just go. And we're going to bring our head back up. Now let your right ear move towards your right shoulder. Keeping that left shoulder dropping down away from your ear. And then in the opposite direction, left ear towards the left shoulder. Letting that right shoulder drop down away from your ear. Coming back upright. If it's comfortable, switch the crossing of your legs. And we're just going to sit for a moment and do a few breaths. After which I'm going to encourage you to turn off the video and do a Shavasana. So I'm going to say Namaste and thank you for practicing with me now. But I'm just going to lead us through a little bit of breath work and then encourage you to come lie in a final relaxation pose of your choosing. So you can lie in any position that's comfortable with any props you want. If you need to set a timer because you're worried about sleeping too long or something, set a timer. But just give yourself a few minutes to let everything settle. Okay, so now that we've got that out of the way, Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me. And now we'll do a few moments of breathing before we come to Shavasana. If it's comfortable to touch your belly, put your hands on your belly. And I'm just going to encourage you as you inhale to notice your belly moving forward into your hands. As you exhale, the belly might just feel a little less full in the hands as the diaphragm moves back. Inhale, feel the belly, fill, exhale, maybe a little softness there. Now we'll take the hands down. And just breathing without the sensory feedback of the hands, noticing if we're still able to do those belly breaths. Feeling the belly really move forward when you inhale and just soften a little bit when you exhale. Okay, great job. As you're ready, make your way into Shavasana.